believe change is inevitable. So it's never too late to make a difference as an individual. Cause we gotta do that to become better as a whole. All for one, and one for all.
Good afternoon, Wolfpack. How the fuck are we doing today? It's been a long day. Long ass day. So, some changes are coming. Some good changes. Some new ideas with new people I'm talking with that I've been talking about here lately, about where I actually want to take all of this. So, rerouting. I remembered the friggin' the Marine Corps motto. I can't believe I forgot that. Adapt, overcome, and improvise. And Tiffin, pack member, had put it in the comments. I didn't see it. When I'm on live, it don't show me the friggin' comments. So, topic of today is bouncing off of this morning, and I want to go in a little bit more depth. I did the morning motivation of feeling useless, because I know a lot of people feel like this. Sometimes I've felt like this, especially when nothing's going right and you fucking just feel like shit, hate the fucking world, friggin' feel like you're useless, that you're good for nothing. All these thoughts I know is raining through so many people's heads. And I'm going to give a little bit more of the backstory of what happened the other day. I believe it was Saturday. Building a deck on my back porch. It's something, the back porch. It used to be a closed, we ain't going to go into that right now. I still got work to do on that thing. A lot of work. But my dad ended up coming over and helping me, because I ain't never built a fucking porch before. I have no clue what the fuck I'm doing. I know, I can build a lot of things, and I build a lot of shit around here on the farm, but that stuff ain't pretty. It ain't supposed to be pretty. It's for animals. Like, I ain't trying to win no freaking beauty contest with the shit I built around here for these animals. They don't give a shit how pretty it is. So, but the porch is definitely something different. Like, that, I want to make sure it's done and done right. But I ain't paying somebody else to freaking do it. My dad's built a couple decks in his lifetime, so he came over to help me, right? I was kind of excited. Like, look, like, my dad, my biological father, and the man that actually stepped the fuck up in my life, Dad, which is two different people, my biological father and the man that actually stepped the fuck up when he didn't have to and became my dad by choice, and still by choice after 34 years, is still my dad, and I am still his son, and he never has ever treated me any different. Was a truck driver, or still is a truck driver. And my biological father is a truck driver. So, they weren't always around. Like, biological father didn't come back into my life till I was like 9 or 13 or some shit, somewhere around there. But, they were both truck drivers, always out on the road. If you know the life of a truck driver, fucking sucks. Especially for kids, family, and them, because they're out on the road working all the damn time and missing out on everything. But, so I was excited that my dad was coming to help me, build the deck, or help me build the deck. And he's getting old, and like, he told me, he's like, look, I can show you how to do it and tell you how to do it, but I'm going to need you to do most of the work. I'm like, cool, great. That's all I need. Like, I just need to get to the point to where, like, I know what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm excited about it. And I thought, since I was excited to be working with my dad and building something I think that is great, because I've always wanted a fucking deck, the kids would be excited. the girlfriend was excited. She wanted to help, freaking, like, she legit wanted to help, and she don't do, farm shit, like, so she was excited. She wanted to learn how to do this. And that day just turned into fucking fuck. Like, it just fucked all the way around. And she ended up having to, my girlfriend ended up having to take her daughter and running her all around all day, which it was only supposed to take like maybe an hour or two. Ended up being an all day fucking project because, and it wasn't their fault. So she wasn't able to be here. Well, I called all the kids down. Was like, hey, we need your help. I want you guys, to learn this with me, blah, blah, blah. And thought it was going to be a good day. Now, my oldest son, he's 16 years old, just turned 16 over on the 16th, matter of fact, August 16th, just turned 16. My oldest son, he started a job within the last month. First job ever, working at a fancy restaurant with $50 fucking steaks and shit. And, he's doing good. At first, like, I had to legit make him go get a job. Like, freaking my girlfriend's son, my girlfriend's family, actually, all of them pretty much work there. Most of them. It's her cousin, I believe. And then, basically all her kids work there and she works there and everything like that. And, my girlfriend's oldest son, they offered him a job. And I was like, hey, like, fucking, my oldest son needs a job. I want him to have a job. I want him to have working experience. Blah, blah. And when I first told him about this, he basically, like, he looked at me and, like, he didn't even want to tell me. I knew he had something to say, but he didn't want to tell me because he even said, like, I'm afraid of upsetting you. And I'm like, nope, say what you got. So, say it with your chest. What do you got to say? And he was like, he was like, so basically you're making me get a job? And I'm like, yeah, I'm making you get a job. It's time for you to start making your own money, having, money. You're 16, you need to, be able to buy your own car, you need to be able to buy, because I can't afford all that shit. I could barely afford to have the car that I have. So, and if I did that, I mean, that's 7 kids we've got that, if we're going to have to do all that for, right? So, he's doing a lot better than we thought he would. Like, it's actually helping him come out of his shell a little bit and not be so, he's a little awkward, like, socially awkward. And I mean, he's a good kid. He is a good kid. Got a fucking big ass heart. Like, he reminds me of a lot when I was a kid. And he's got a big heart. And so he's doing good. He's doing good. Well, Saturday, it come where all the kids, they come down and stuff. Him and the girlfriend's daughter worked the night before, Friday night, and they didn't get home till like 11 o'clock, probably didn't go to bed till about 11:30, and, come home at 8. So, and, the girlfriend had told them both, like, hey, you can sleep in, you can sleep in as long as you want, you got in late, which they get in late basically every time they work on the weekends, because it's their busiest time. Well, it got to be like, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning. I hollered up for all the kids. Apparently woke up the boys that worked the night before, and I was like, hey, you're all going to help us. Well, he come down. I literally just woke him up, and, he had a bit of an attitude. And his first, part of his attitude, he was like, well, Tara said that we could sleep in as long as we wanted. I said, yeah, and I'm saying different. You're coming out here and helping me. And again, it kind of went from there. So they went and got dressed, and then, then they all come down and everything like that. And he was just, I could just tell I know he was tired, but he was sitting there and he was just sulking. And I'm like, what's your problem? And he was like, I'm just tired. We didn't get in until 11 last night. And I kind of looked at him and I was like, okay. And your point is? And I probably didn't go to sleep until friggin' 11, 12, 1 o'clock, somewhere around there, because I don't sleep well, hence the sleeping pills I've got to be on to even help me sleep. And so, we kind of let it go I kind of let it go for a little bit, and he just kept on with it. He just had an attitude. And I'm like, I was excited. and trying to get where, get them involved, get them to learn and shit. Because I've heard you can make a lot of money building decks, freaking, hold on. What? So, anyways, the girlfriend was looking at me. I'm guessing she's home with the groceries and wants me to get my ass off of live and come help get the groceries. But, hey, I'm doing live. I'm doing something important right now. And so, anyways, she'll be all right. They'll be all right. Strong, independent women, right? INDB. She knows. She's giving me the evil glare. Anyways, she'll listen to this later and get on to me. Really? Anyways, so he just kept kind of going on with it. Like he just kept getting attitude, and it working in the sun and trying to get this done. It was not easy, and my dad had told me friggin' the first part is basically the hardest part, because you got to get the frame and everything right. Like, it has to be right. And so he's just on and on with his attitude. Finally, it got to the point where I went to fuck off on him. I did. I lost my temper, and I went off on him. And I told him, look, you're taking something that I was excited about and be able to spend time with you guys, and that's something I actually need your help with, because I have a bad back. My dad has a bad back. You guys are young. You guys could help us and learn, and instead you're sitting here with a fucking attitude, acting the way you fucking are, because of what? Because you got woke up after sleeping, fucking for at least 10 fucking hours. Like, what in the fuck is your deal? And yes, I talk to my son like that, friggin', I cuss a lot, and I don't hold my fucking cussing for nobody, including my kids. If I'm a bad parent, oh fucking well, friggin', he did say something that, that made me proud the very next day. So finally, friggin', I just told him, I was like, look, I don't care that you fucking worked. You worked 5 hours last night. Welcome to the real fucking world. You play video games all fucking day and all fucking night. I don't want to hear your shit about you had to work fucking 5 hours and you're up here helping me doing this shit. So, well, then I kind of told him, all right, fine. Friggin', it was a little while later after I calmed down. I was like, all right. I was like, just go away. Like, you're ruining my friggin' father and son time. Go away. So, actually, I think, I'd asked him and the older boy if they had ate anything this morning, and I told them, I ended up telling them, and because they said no, they come out straight out to help, because I said so. I was like, well, just go fucking eat, go away. You ruined me and my father's time. So, which was probably a dick move. Yes, I was in a mood. I said father of the fucking year. But anyway, so he went and ate, and then he come back out after, a little while. And by the time we'd gotten to a point where we didn't really need the kids so much, they were kind of just getting in the way, so I just told them all, kind of go away. We come back out after, finally I'd calmed down. He didn't seem like he had an attitude. He could have been hangry for all I knew. I don't know. He could have been fucking angry. And when he come back out, he kind of was just sitting there again, and I was like, look, like, what's your problem? Like, what is really going on with you? And then I finally figured it out. Which goes to prove you don't know what the hell, somebody else is going through, and you don't know, when somebody else is struggling a little bit. So it's not okay to assume. I'm admitting I did fuck up. Like, I felt like shit after this. After he told me what his problem was. So he goes in telling me, he's like, well, last night at work, I messed up on 2 orders, and I just felt useless. And my mouth kind of dropped open a little bit, and because it was like, it dawned on me right then and there what the fuck I just did. It was like, fuck. He was having some mental health issues. Like, he, was feeling down on himself, and all I did was just fucking scream and holler at him, because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Because I was just assuming, friggin' that he was just having an attitude because I was making him work, and he wasn't able to sleep or play on his fucking video games. No, dick moment. Fucking father of the year moment, right? So, you can come out here. I got to get used to fucking doing it in front of people anyway, so. Okay. Anyways, sorry, apologize for the interruption. There's the lovely, beautiful girlfriend coming out here, and I was just telling her, I get nervous when the family gets around there. We're actually out grocery shopping and fucking, so anyways, you heard me. So, you know, like, I felt like a real fucking dick, you know, fucking real bad father moment right there. And so I was like, what do you mean? Like, why did you feel useless? He was like, well, I messed up on, 2 orders. He didn't bread something. I can't remember what, it was breaded chicken or breaded, steak or something. I can't remember what the hell it was, and he was supposed to bread it, and he did it. And he was like, I messed up on these 2 orders, and I just felt useless. I can't do nothing right. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's stop those fucking feelings right there. Yes, and that's how I speak to my kids once again. And I was like, how many, let's look at it this way. Like, you're probably looking at it wrong. And he gave me that look like, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I'm like, how many orders did you actually do last night? Because I know Fridays and Saturdays are their busiest nights. And he's like, he kind of sat there for a couple seconds, and I'm like, look, you're thinking too hard. Like, I don't want an exact number. Just guess. Just give me a guesstimate about what you actually think, how many orders you actually did last night. And he was like, well, maybe around 50? And I laughed, I was like, 50 orders? I was like, and you were worried about that you fucked up too? I was like, so you got 48 orders correct and fucked up too. And you're worried about those 2. You're being hard and feeling useless about yourself because of 2 orders? I was like, Skylar. Oh, that's my son's name, by the way. I was like, Skylar, like, what are you doing? Like, everybody makes mistakes. Like, it don't make you useless. I was like, this is your first job. This is your first job that you're sitting there. You don't know what you're doing. He's never cooked a day, day in his friggin' life so far. Like, I've taught them how to cook grilled cheese and simple shit because I only know how to make simple shit. Like, he's out there making fucking steaks, and I don't even know how to make, friggin' real good steaks. Like, I've tried, but, and they turned out all right. But I'm not a grilling man. I don't like to cook. I don't. Not on the grill, not on the fucking stove. Like, I don't like to cook, period. Fucking, I can make a mean bowl of cereal. That's about the extent of my fucking cooking. When I try, and, when I want to, yeah, I can cook a meal, but I don't fucking like to. So, I'm like, like, he's out there fucking making, it's not calamari. And I think that's like fried squid or some shit, or yeah, I think fried squid or fried octopus or fucking something. I can't remember what the hell. I had to ask him what the hell calamari was because he told me he made that on his first day. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, he out there making fucking like Richie food, like fancy fucking shit, like, fucking proud of him, like, bro, like, that's some fancy fucking shit, fancy word and everything, like, and I'm like, you're out here cooking these fancy ass dinners. And you worried about fucking up on 2 meals when you got 48 correct. He was like, well, I'm not gonna mention their names because that's I don't want to put them out there. Well, this person and that person, they were helping me, and they I didn't do it all by myself and this that. I was like, so what? I was like, you still got 48 orders correct. Like, you're looking at it wrong, bub. Like, you are totally looking at it the wrong fucking way. You need to look at it like I got 48 right. The 2 that I messed up on were mistakes, and now I need to remind myself that I need to do this and I need to do that. You need to learn from your mistakes. Don't sit here and beat yourself up about it. So it was actually a good conversation afterwards. And yes, Rachel, I did, I did apologize, a little bit, friggin', I did tell him, like, hey, that afterwards, like, later on in the day, I didn't write that in there, but later on in the day, I got him, and I was like, hey, you know, that was my bad. My bad for getting onto you this morning. I didn't realize that was what was going on. But so then later on, after my dad left, I was still working on the deck and stuff. The girlfriend got home from running her daughter around, and we're sitting at the table before he's going to work. And I just look at the girlfriend and I'm like, look, don't take no offense to this. I have a reasoning for asking this question about Skylar. But I was like, how many times in your life have you fucked up on your, at jobs? At restaurants, jobs, whatever jobs you worked at. How many times have you actually made mistakes and fucked up? Especially when you're new. And she was like, all the time. Like, you know, everybody makes mistakes. She was like, you could be the best at anything. And you're fucking up. And making mistakes. It's like, she was like, you learn from them. So I told him. I was like, look. Like, you know, she just told you, you know, she makes mistakes. I make mistakes all the time on this farm. I'm going to tell you about my big mistake that I wish he was here for today. So I could have pointed this out. So then after, you know, she, you know, him and her started talking, you know, we went outside. And I had to have him and her older boy help me carry some boards that I couldn't carry by myself and set them in the hangers for the deck. And I started pointing out to Skylar. And I should have caught it right then and there. See, that's that. Now that I'm talking about that, that's when I should have caught that I said that I made these mistakes. And instead of going on, I didn't. But I like I said, this is my first deck. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So, you know, it's a learning process. So I started pointing out to my son, like, look, I've never built a deck before. So here's mistake number 1 that I made. Here's mistake number 2. And I went through like 10, 15 friggin' mistakes. I was like, look at all this. I was like, you know, I make mistakes. Like, everybody makes mistakes. I guarantee you, you know, the head chef at that restaurant, they make mistakes. And friggin', you know, the other people there make mistakes. And this and that. Like, everybody makes them. And come and find out, he did say that, like, you know, the head chef, you know, she messed up on 2 orders, and one of the other people, they messed up on 2 orders. So I was like, see? I was like, look, like, you know, here, you know, you're freaking, you know, messing up on, you know, these couple orders and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. What really caught me off guard was later after I dropped, or no, it was, was it, yeah, it had to have been before. So it was that night, I think it was, or the next day. Me and my girlfriend started talking, and we were talking about that situation, and something didn't dawn on me. You know, if you listen to the beginning, I made him go get a job, and you know what, I didn't threaten him or nothing. I just said, hey, there's a job here, you know, here it is available, and you're going to take it, plain and simple. He could have chosen not to give a fuck. Me and my girlfriend sitting there talking, and I was being hard on myself, and I was, you know, coming down on myself like, damn, like, I fucked up there. Like, I legit fucked up and got onto his ass like that, and, you know, and I feel horrible about it. Well, so when me and the girlfriend's talking, she was like, don't take no offense to this, and just listen to that I got to say this. She was like, but I'm actually happy that he's upset and that he messed up. I kind of looked at her. I'm like, do what? Like, what? Why would you be happy? She was like, because he actually cares about it. She's like, me and you both neither thought he was going to care one bit about this job. We thought he was not going to friggin', you know, even like this job or anything. But him, you know, friggin' worrying about whether he messes up or not, he actually fucking cares. And I was like, oh shit, like, that didn't dawn on me. Like, that did not dawn on me one bit. So, you know, friggin', that was the whole story I was, you know, like, waiting on to tell, you know, from the morning to now. Like, you know, friggin', yeah, you're looking at it wrong. You are looking at it wrong if you're feeling useless, especially when you're messing something up or life just isn't going right. You're looking at it wrong. Even if it is in a certain situation where you're sitting here like, you know, I just keep fucking up, or I do this, or I do that, or whatever. How many times have you got it right? How many times have you sat back and, friggin', even, when you've been a seasoned veteran at doing something, have you actually fucked up even though you knew you were doing shit correctly? But how many times have you got it right? You don't fuck up every day, and normally, when people do, it's on stupid little shit. If we rewind a little bit, remember when I said I should have caught that mistake when I was pointing out the mistakes to him? So, Saturday, worked on the deck all day. Sunday it rained. Monday, yesterday, worked on the deck all day. Today, and I worked, until it was about 9 o'clock last night that I finally quit. I worked on the deck today, started doing it, and I was at the point where I was about to lay the floorboards, the actual deck, the part you actually stand on, the floorboards, quarter board, or whatever it's called, the top part of the deck. So I was getting ready to lay that, and my dad had told me, you need to have these measurements on each side and on the front side, and then go from there. You got to make sure you have these measurements. You got to make sure it's, square like this and that, right? So it don't throw off at the very end. I go to measure it out. And I noticed, okay, on the ends, I got 1.5 inches. Right where you said it needed to be. But in the middle, as I go in, on this board, it slowly goes from 1.5 inches to 1.25 inches. And then right in the middle, it's at 1 inch. So a whole 1/2 inch off. And I'm like, what in the fuck? What did I do? What the hell's going on? And I start looking at the cross beams and everything. And around the cross beams, around the fucking frames, some of them, not all of them, but some of them had a 1/2 inch gap between the actual frame and the friggin' cross beam. And then it was just, it was on the hanger, and it was, secured into the hanger, but it actually wasn't butted up to the damn frame. So, what does that do? And it wasn't like that on just the front. It was like that on the friggin' back, too. So, what did it, and it was basically it was the boards were pushed up against the back real good, and then there was some boards at the front that it was pushed up all the way to the friggin' front real good. That made the friggin' front bow out. So, I had to learn to I wasn't pissed. I wasn't pissed. I was aggravated. But I didn't get pissed off at myself. The reason I didn't get pissed off at myself is because I sat there and told myself, this is the first time I have ever built a fucking deck in my life. I fucked up. I pointed those very things out to Skylar, my son. But I didn't know that it was going to make a difference. I didn't know that it was going to fuck up, the end process, basically. So, what did I have to do? I had to go through and fucking tear it all apart again. Because I had put, I don't even, you got the cross beams, and then I put, boards friggin' in between the cross beams to connect them together. I don't know what the hell the name of it is right now. But I done all that, secured it all. This motherfucker was fucking as steady as a rock. It was not fucking moving, right? Friggin', I ain't gonna say fucking what they said about the Titanic, because I don't want to be proven wrong. Fucking tornado will come through and fucking snatch a hold of that bitch and throw it all over the place or something that. We ain't gonna test that fucking shit. But, so, I had to go through and unscrew all these fucking cross beams and all these fucking support beams and all this stuff, and I had to fucking go through and take all the fucking nails out of the fucking the hangers, and then I had to take a fucking legit ratchet strap and 2 ratchet straps and take it to one fucking board or the one part of the frame in the back and the one part of the frame in the front, and I had to ratchet these straps together just so it would push the board back into it and hold it. Then I had to go through and screw them, nail it back in. I just got done doing that. I have been working on this part, and it is now 7 o'clock. I have been working on that since probably around noon, maybe 11. No, it's about noon, maybe 1 o'clock, because I had some errands and stuff I ran this morning and everything like that. So a good 6 hours? Good 6 hours. I have been working on that, and I had to go back and correct those mistakes that I made. But it was a learning lesson. Did it aggravate me? Yes, the fuck it did. Did it piss me off? No, not really. Because of the situation that friggin' happened with my son on Saturday, I kept telling myself, this was the very mistakes that you were talking to him about. And you've never built a deck before. So don't sit here and beat yourself over on it. And I ended up calling my dad and I was like, hey, this is the problem. How do I fix this without undoing everything that I did? He was like, well, you can try this, but if it don't work, you have to undo it all and redo it. And I was like, well, okay. So instead of trying all that different stuff, I just, I tried a couple things and I was like, nope, screw it. And I just started tearing it all back apart. Well, that was a good learning lesson. Because I had to fix that mistake. I didn't sit here and beat myself up about it. I didn't sit here and pout about it and be, fucking pissed off and let it ruin my whole day. And I'm like, oh, fuck this, I'm useless and I'm fucking worthless. I can't even get this fucking right and this and that, blah, blah, blah. No. I legit aggravated, yes, because I really was hoping to have it done today. At least that part. Freaking my dad's got to come back in, next weekend or this coming up weekend and show me, how to put in the handrails and all that. But, the deck would have been where we could actually sit on the fucking deck like we want to. Because me and the girlfriend's both excited about it. I was hoping to have that part fucking done today. That way in the morning, I could come out here, sit on the deck and do motivational lives, stare up at the fucking stars, drink my coffee, and finally have my deck. But no. The universe had other fucking plans. They said, fuck you. We're going to teach you a lesson. So it taught me a very valuable lesson. But in that same lesson, I know. And I'm actually really proud of myself that I didn't get pissed off and let it ruin my day and be mad the entire fucking time. I just went to fucking work. Threw on my fucking, threw in my Bluetooth, my headphones, put them in, and kept listening to my moto videos all fucking day. That way it was, I was thinking about other shit, fucking to do with the group and where I want to take it and ideas and all this kind of stuff. I was taking it all through there. And I say I did pretty fucking good. I got it corrected. Now I just got to put, and I've got, all the hangers back in, the beams are in. I just got to, put the support braces back in. And hopefully we'll be done with that today. And it shouldn't take me that much longer. Like, putting the support beams, I already got all the pieces fucking cut. So I ain't got to sit there and cut each one and measure every one. I just got to pop the screws back in and be good. So, you're looking at it wrong. Just like I looked at mine today. I'm not fucking useless. I'm not worthless. I'm not a fuck up. I'm not. I didn't think any of that. I made a mistake. Now I know. Now, if I ever go to build a deck again, which I hope not to, I'd love to add on to this one, over the years and make it bigger, because I just want a big ass fucking deck for no reason. Just want a big ass deck. But I'll learn from these mistakes, and when I go and do it next time, or if we ever, move this place and I want to build another deck, then friggin' I have the experience. So you're not useless. You're not worthless. You get shit right. You can friggin' do shit. We all just fucked up. But learn from your mistakes. Learn from your past mistakes. Don't let your future or your present right now, don't let your present be fucked up by your past. And don't let your future be fucked up by your past either. Hello, beautiful. With that, I'm going to get off here. Hope you all have a great day. An amazing day. Always remember two things, you guys. Stronger than what you think. You're not alone. Peace.
When I was just a young buck, mama always told me, son, keep your head up. I started hustling in the street cause I was fed up. At the age of 13, just trying to get my bread up. Didn't know my father, he was murdered in cold blood. That's why I have no remorse and never show no love. Hoping I piss you off, I really give two fucks. Burning my old bridges, trying to find me a new plug. And knowing that I needed to change, always taking from people who probably needed the same. But I was deep in the game and running deep with my gang. And if our pockets was low, then we was peeping your chain. Boy, gotta come up somehow. Instead of running these streets from sun up to sundown, I gotta change my mindset. It ain't no wondering why now that it wasn't my time yet. And why we gotta learn the hard way, doing things that we know we ain't supposed to. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep the devil on my back to get to where I'm going to. I can never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. Never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. Ha! What did you do? This is what I did. Yeah, I followed through with the plans. Washing my hands, I'm through with chasing these bands. Found hope, put down dope, becoming a man. Picking up the number 2 and letting go of the grams. I never thought that I could make it this far, to eating caviar from stealing stereos from your car. You'd be a fool not to change and try and better yourself. Better quit while you ahead, don't get ahead of yourself. And in truth, you'll find peace and find me blowing on pine trees, trying to fill up a dime piece. No more popping my 9-piece or stopping the grind streets. Don't take life for granted, cause boy, you know your time's least. And life is what you make it. Better take the music that you dance to and face it. So next time a hater says you can't make it, let that be your motivation to show them that you was destined for greatness. And why we gotta learn the hard way, doing things that we know we ain't supposed to. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep the devil on my back to get to where I'm going to. I can never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. Never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down, but I'm gonna get back up. Ha. You see, change is inevitable, so it's never too late to make a difference as an individual. Cause we gotta do that to become better as a whole. All for one, and one for all. And why we gotta learn the hard way, doing things that we know we ain't supposed to. And I'm gonna do whatever it takes to keep the devil on my back to get to where I'm going to. I can never get enough of that tough love. When push comes to shove, you can kick me while I'm down,